Nole family, what's going on, man? Saturday, midday, around 3 Eastern time. Just decided to jump on, do a live, man. Before we get started, though, I want to say thoughts and prayers with Coach Bobby Bowden. Unless you've been living under a rock, I'm pretty much sure you know what's going on with him. So, thoughts and prayers with him. Um, just go over a few things today. Just sitting around the house, chilling. I said, you know what? I ain't been on all week, man. Let me drop some content, man. Gotta keep dropping content. So gonna go over a few things about the position groups I seen, and and just chilling and God. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Boy, the countdown getting real. I think we 40 40 some days left. I'm not sure the exact amount of days, but I know that's what Google for. So let's see. Days until September 5th. I mean, not September 5th. Yeah, September 5th. I'm tripping. I'm tripping. September 5th. So we got a smooth 43 days until September 5th. Mm, I'm ready. I'm ready. I know the talk of the town is about the different conferences being realigned and all that. I ain't gonna get into that right now. Maybe do that for another video or another time. Because right now we still got to focus on what's ahead, which is this season. But yeah, we got we got 43 days. So hey, let's get it, man. Now I did see this past week, Wednesday and Thursday. The Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday and Thursday was the ACC kickoff. Florida State. We was there on Thursday with Coach Norvell, Jordan Travis, um, and Mackenzie Milton and Jermaine Johnson. Um, it's just honestly just seeing anything dealing with Florida State right now get us hyped because we're in the off season right now. But I did like some of the things I was hearing from, especially Jermaine Johnson. Jermaine Johnson coming in, letting it be known he got to be a leader. He is he is a senior. He said his job is to get the young guys better, and you know, hey, get the young guys better, and he still dominate. That's all good for us. Mackenzie Milton, same thing. Incredible story with him coming back, having played since like November of 2018. So almost 3 years, almost 3 years since the last time he took a snap. But he was thankful. Said he had to be a leader as well. Your boy Jordan Travis, the same way. Jordan Travis said, a year ago, he was thinking about quitting football. He said he really was thinking about not even playing no more. So he said the coaching staff came in and gave him, a newfound love for the game because he really started doubting himself. Which I understand why the previous staff ain't even let him see the field that year, but that's a whole nother story. But it was some good things from Coach Norvell, or Mike, if you wanna, you know, you wanna call Dion Dion. So then Coach Mike or Mike Norvell. He said some good things. He was talking about how he didn't he haven't talked to Dabo, which I don't, ain't no need to talk to Dabo for what we're talking to him for. So he was pretty much on that, saying ain't no need for him to talk about Dabo. Um, so yeah, I mean it was just a little something. I mean watching it there, like I watched it both days. Really, I had my TV on it like, really the whole day. It was like from 9 to 5, pretty much. So it was pretty much my whole shift. But I work from home, so it was easy to work from home and still have the TV on. But just listening to just the media, the ACC, like they real deal like up. They real deal up on so many other teams. Um, like they real deal up high on like a lot of teams. Like I heard him, of course, Sam Howell. People gonna talk about him because Sam Howell. He a good quarterback. I can't take that from him. But quarterbacks like dude from Pitt, was Kenny Pickett. They was all around him hard. NC State. It just seemed like a lot of teams was getting a lot of praise. Which I mean, I ain't saying we deserve praise or I want praise from us, but it's just like, come on now, bro. Like, come on. We still Florida State, but that's a whole different story. A whole different story. My fault here, but before I jump into this, let me go into these comments here real quick. Got my boy Dre. What up? What up, cuz? What up, cuzzo? Got KHL. What's up? What's going on, man? What's going on with y'all, man? Thank y'all for tuning in with your boy, man. It ain't doing nothing. It's Saturday. Yeah, we just chilling. It ain't like it's nothing on. I mean, unless you're watching the Olympics, which I mean, even in that, we want to watch certain sports. But let me go to my thing here. So it was a list from is he like a writer or something? But David Hale. Um, oh, what's it? Damn, I didn't even know you on right now, bro. What up? What's going on, man? What's up? What's up, that boy? That's that's my boy down on Twitter, though. All right, so he had his top list for different position groups in the ACC. So with O linemen, so I mean, the question I asked y'all, like, is it fair or what? But for the O lineman, he had us out of 14 teams in the ACC. He had our O line at 11 out of all the teams. I mean, basically, how our O line really been these past few years. Last year was an upgrade to me, but I mean, I feel me personally, I feel like 11 ain't that bad for somebody to have us ranked. Like 11, that 11 out of 14. I mean, you got teams like Virginia. Like I'm reading them in order. So you got Virginia, Virginia Tech, North Carolina, Clemson, Wake Forest, Boston College, Miami, NC State, Louisville, Duke, Florida State, Syracuse, Pitt, Georgia Tech. Now, I don't understand how you can have Duke above us. I mean, we did put. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't see how we could put Duke ahead of us as far as the O line. But I mean, they got us at 11. So I mean, I feel like me personally, I feel like it's fair. I mean, I ain't gonna say it ain't fair. I ain't gonna be like, oh, we should be top 5. Okay, 11. I'll take it. We just gotta prove. For us to improve, we definitely going to have to move up from being the 11th best O line. Now, these ain't really stats. It's just this one person's like expert opinion. It ain't like it ain't written in blood or nothing. This one, no, I'm gonna say that one here. So for the D line, he got Florida State defensive line ranked at 13. Now, if we're going off last year, I ain't gonna lie, I might have to agree. The only one below FSU is Duke. Like you see the pattern here, like because we all know we've been watching football long enough. We all know Duke is basketball. Like football and ACC, we know Duke pretty much pretty much, kind of last. Except, that one fluke year when they played us in the AFC Championship game. But for us to be close by Duke in so many categories it's crazy to me. But D-line, you got to think about it. Our D-line really ain't do much. I mean, I think our starting D-line, I don't know if this, just off the top of my head, though, I think our starting D-line had, I think, 4 sacks, I think. I I believe. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me, but I believe our starting D-line last year had 4 sacks. And I want to go further than that and say all 4 was by Janoris Robinson. So he had, if he didn't have 4, he had like 3. So for us to be 13 in, on his list, um, as the 13th, I don't know if you want to say best or worst. I guess 13 out of 14 D line in the conference, and then it was 11 O line, 13 D line. Now, for our secondary, 13 out of 14. Like, you see the pattern? Like, we real deal at the bottom of the list on each position group. And to be honest, I can't really disagree. I'm not agreeing saying that that's what I think we're gonna be this year. But if he basing this off of last year's performance, I can't really disagree. I don't like it, but I can't disagree. So 13 in secondary. You got to think about our secondary last year. We had NC State put up video game numbers on us. Um, Louisville put up video game numbers on us. Even Pitt, and that was a quarterback first game. Like, he had missed like majority of the season. Like, he had missed like a lot of games, and he had like a hurt ankle or something, and he came back on us. So it's like our secondary, like real deal was real deal, like kind of trash last year. I mean, we really just had Asante Samuel really made it look decent at times, but so 13 for secondary, 13 for D line, and 11 for O line. Now, when we go to our linebackers, now this one kind of made me scratch my head, which I mean ain't bugging, but for linebacker unit, he had us as the 8th best in the conference. I mean, our linebackers, I don't know, bro. Teams was breaking a lot of runs last year. So for the D linemen and secondary to be that low, linebackers at 8. I mean, I take it, but we definitely going to have improved linebacker play this year, in my opinion. Or really, all phases going to have to be improved, like all phases. Um, but I mean, honestly, I really can't. Like I said, if this stuff based off last year, I'm really not like, I'm not saying this so we can be like, oh man, let's go get him, let's start him off. I'm just saying it because it's like, I mean, we that's how people look at us, and we were bad last year. We won 3 games, including a loss to Georgia Tech that we was up at half against Georgia Tech. And then the last one I got is our receiving core. Our receiving core. Hold on, I keep hitting the thing. Our receiving core. He got us listed as dead last. So the worst receiving unit in the ACC. Which, I mean, if y'all watch the games, like I'm sure we all did, well, in here, I mean, can we really disagree that our receiving core ain't didn't play like they was the worst unit in the conference last year? Like, we had no threats at receiver. I mean, we had Terry for the first few games, but Terry didn't really shake. He didn't really shake much. He got hurt. He really got hurt. I believe I think the first game he got hurt. Miami, he ain't shake none. He ain't really shake none. He had a touchdown against Notre Dame, but then once he left, we definitely didn't have nothing at all. So I really can't disagree with our receivers being the worst. Like I remember seeing the game. I'm trying to see what game that was. Was that NC State game? I think they threw in trouble, and or did Chuba start? I don't even remember. But I know it was one game where Chuba got in because I think Chuba wound up starting again. I think Chuba started in the NC State game, but it was one game he had got in, and like Chuba was throwing dimes, and every single pass he threw, it was dropped by wide receiver. Warren Thompson dropped one, which I mean, Warren Thompson dropped one. Even Keyshawn Helton dropped one, which would have put us at the goal line, even though it was garbage time, but still, a little momentum to go into the next game. Keyshawn Helton was dropping them, like Portier was dropping them. So it's like everybody was dropping the rock, and it's like our receivers was essentially no threat to nobody. And I do believe like the offense last year was like a little makeshift offense that they put together once they made Jordan Travis a starter. Like the offense we seen last year, I don't believe that's because look, I sometimes when I'm just chilling, I look back and looked at some of Mike Norvell's old games at Memphis. I looked at probably about four or five games that you can watch. You can look them up on YouTube, the little condensed games. And I'm looking at the plays he run, and his quarterback wasn't running, like that, running options and doing all them. So I do believe he made a little makeshift offense to really fit what we had at the time, because we didn't have no deep threat at receiver. Like we literally had no deep threat, none whatsoever. So as far as receivers being dead last, I would definitely have to agree. The running backs, I ain't even get the running backs to be honest, unless I done accidentally deleted it. But the running backs was probably honestly probably the running game was our best thing on offense last year. Was the running game. The running game is what kept us in games. Like that's the real deal. What kept us in games. So you know, let's take a look. See what the comments say here. FSU rules, yes sir, it does. What's going on? My boy said I'm gonna keep it real. I'm not outraged by a lot of his rankings, but I will say I think he's simply going off last year and not really mixing in last year's results plus forecasting for this year. Yeah, that's how I feel too. That's how I feel too. Our team was flipped with a lot of proven transfers. Yeah, because I mean, just with Jermaine Johnson alone, like that should help. That should help our D line. That definitely should help our D line big time. With Jermaine Johnson. Before I forget though, tonight I'm gonna be back on, I believe, six Eastern. I'm gonna be on my boy Pope on his channel. We're gonna be going over our top 25 players. So y'all go ahead and head over to his channel at around 6. I believe it's 6. But he more than likely he'll have it posted on his channel. But that's my boy channel there. Y'all go over there at 6. We're gonna be doing our top 25 players. For who we think. He got his list, I got my list. So we're gonna go through our top 25 players. But yeah, man. So like honestly, with the players we have this year and actually having like for Mike to bring when you listen, so when you listen to Jordan Travis and Mackenzie Milton talk, like it, even though they clearly in a quarterback competition, it's just a sense that both of them are still gonna be able to play. And me, in my opinion, I feel like Mackenzie will be the number one quarterback. Your traditional quarterback, run the offense. Um, Jordan Travis could have done improve on his, deep game passing, even though, they said improve on his deep game passing, but actually some of his deep passes was like nice. He had some pretty deep balls he was throwing last year. It was just the kind of short passes, the slants, things like that, the out routes. Them the ones that was kind of, but he was throwing that bit downfield. But I do feel like McKenzie Milton would be the number one quarterback. And then I feel like Jordan Travis will actually be in. I feel like Jordan Travis will play too. Now I'm not saying it's gonna be the type where, like, you get a series, you get a series, you get a series. I don't think it's gonna be like that, and I'm hoping it's not like that, because when you do that, you can't really build team chemistry and get in a rhythm. But if it's like McKenzie Milton is the quarterback, but we got a third and one, and you got Jordan Travis back there. I mean, as a defense, he's a quarterback, so he can still throw the ball. You can't just go all in on run, but he got the athleticism to actually keep in the run too. So I do feel like he'll be in that role, kind of like I don't want to call him like a gadget player, but yeah, that's what it is. I mean, so I do feel it's a sense that those two will both be on the field. I mean, you see they calling each other both. Even Jermaine Jones was like QB1. So it's like which I don't have a problem with it when it's played like that. If you're using it like that, then that's fine with me. Like, okay, go ahead. But when it's that series, you get first series, you get no. We I don't like that. That don't really work out. Or if it's even back to Willie and Kendall Browse, where how they did Alex Hornibrook and James Blackman, like, like anyway. So not like that. But I do feel with McKenzie Milton, a more traditional quarterback, been in college a long time, got experience. He done been, even though he was at UCF, but he still had, high moments in college. I mean, we can't deny that he done had high moments. He done played in big games, so you can't say he ain't playing big games. And just to have that experience, that leadership, he about 20, he about 24. I think he'll be 24 by the time season start or when it start. So that's experience. And I do feel like kind of like Mike had at Memphis, uh, he had an older guy, which I think transferred from when he was at Arizona State. I think it was a quarterback. Mike had got at Arizona State. Brady White got him to Memphis, and Brady White one of the most athletic dude. From me looking at the film, he wasn't the most athletic, but he ran the offense very proficient for him. So I do feel like McKenzie Milton to be able to do that for us. Um, it's just we're gonna need the receivers to step up. Like, because I do feel like the receivers was our worst position group on off. Well, it was clearly our worst position group on offense. I know people talk about the O line, but bro, the wide receivers was the worst. Like, we literally like having like Jordan Travis out there with like 2000 and 2008, 2009 Vince Young Tennessee Titan numbers. Like, Vince Young would be like 8 for 17, 140 yards and like 109 yards rushing. Like, bro, that ain't going that ain't gonna get it done. Like, it's easy for a team to play defense on that. So we'll see. So like I said, I do feel receivers got to get better on offense. I do believe the running backs. I like the way our running backs performed last year. I only think that they get better this year with experience. With Toafili, Corbin should be healed up where he can, you start seeing flashes of why he was, four star when he came up, and when he came out, he was, was supposed to come to us in the first place. So I mean, you start to see flashes of him, towards the end of the season. He healed up. Now on the other side of the ball, that defense have to get better And I do believe with the defense, I do believe it starts with the D line. Like the D line is the just like on offense, the O line. On defense, the D line starts pretty much like the heartbeat of that defense. Because if the D line getting blown off the ball, it's gonna make everybody else's job harder. It's gonna make the linebackers' job harder to fill gaps. It's gonna make the secondary job harder to be able to keep up with receivers with the quarterback getting 5 and 6 seconds back there. If our defense can just take two steps forward this year, I think we should see a big improvement. Because if your D line improves, that means all the other positions behind it has to improve. Like it has to. Like some of the best teams, some of the best teams got a good defense, but you look at their secondary, it's like a secondary really ain't all that. But it's that D line. That D line make everybody's job so easy. If you fire the D line firing off, controlling the line of scrimmage, it's easier for linebackers to roam through gaps. Is easier for DBs and corners to stay with a man before the ball being forced out after like 2-3 seconds. So that D line is important for me. So that's why again Jermaine Johnson, that was huge to me. That was like we need to put a bubble around Jit like before the season started. Like we need him to stay healthy. Like we really do need him to stay healthy because from what we've seen in spring, at least going against us, he was unstoppable. So I mean, and I don't got no doubt in my mind that he can't beat any offensive tackle in the ACC or I mean college general. I really feel that this man is real deal legit. So once the D line improve, if the D line improve this year, I do expect the defense to be to you know to actually show improvement. Um, it may make Adam Fuller look a little better, but I mean I know a lot of people still ain't really on the Adam Fuller train yet. I know I'm not, but as a coach, so we got to see. But I do think this year we should be able to see some improvement um, up front, um, and also so special teams, that's something that don't really get talked about a lot. And to me, special teams is important too. Special teams is important. Now I know our special teams, as far as like, blocking kicks was straight. Um, but our special teams return game really wasn't shaking on nothing, to be honest, last year. You gotta think about it. Like we didn't have I can't think of no big like kick returns. Um, I didn't really see any big punt returns. A lot of times we just fair catching that bit every time. So I feel like special teams really is a part that really get things going. I mean, you get to open the kickoff, you return that bit to the 40 or 50, you giving the offense a short field to work with, that's good, you know, or you punting them back deep in their territory, that's good. So special teams is something that a lot of people don't talk about. I mean, I'm sure the coaches do, but I'm saying like people like who do videos and stuff like that, or like don't talk about special teams enough. And I think special teams is important because special teams, like we really never had any last year. I can't remember no games where we got like a kickoff and was just, we just returned it and like if we did, we probably had one good game where we had like a good kickoff return or something. Punts, I can't remember no punts that was good returns. So special teams going to have to be a big part this year. They got to find some people back there that can return kicks and that's not scared to return it. Instead of just calling a fair catch every time. Um, so we definitely want to do that. The punter, the punter started out good. We was hyped about the Australian punter, but toward the end of the season, he was kind of like punting like 30-yard punts and stuff, and 35-yard punts, and it's like, bro, that ain't gonna cut it. It got to the point Monterville like, hell, I'm gonna just go for it on fourth down. You might as well at this point, might as well just go for it. So I'm hoping that improves because As far as how we got transfers, they help offensive defense. We ain't get we still got the same punter, so the punter ain't changed. So we gotta hope that he improved. Kicker, we had two last year. I would like for somebody to just be able to take it over. I know we had Grow House and we had Ryan Fitzgerald. To me, I think this should probably Fitzgerald's the kicker, but more consistent makes on field goals because there was a lot of field goals that he missed. So special teams is important. So all phases are important because they all work together. So I mean, like it's just they all work together. Defense got to get teams off the field on third down. Like, bro, this year I don't want to see no 3rd and 15 and them boys picking up the first down. Like, no, third and 15, offense should be put on their helmets, getting ready to go back in the game. But we'll see. I like I said, I do think things would be different because, like I said, we got a whole new, not a whole new, but we got a whole off season actually, like a whole spring game. Then we got the fall practice going to start up August 7th, which is I think 2 Saturdays from now. So, things, it for me just looking on the outside, things seem like they should be better. I mean, this will really show us something. Because I mean, most of the time teams do have a leap if it's a good coach. Good coach had that leap his second season with a team. So we'll see. I ain't talking about no damn leap from three wins to 5 wins. Like, bro, we need my minimum. So my minimum expectations, and I don't hear nobody talking about these some high expectations because to me it ain't. My minimum is 8 wins. Eight wins is my minimum. I don't care if you get 8 when it's 7 in the season and then 8 for bowl, but 8 is the minimum. Then there ain't no 6-6. Ain't none of the 8s. Mike, we need 8. Now, so you in the game somehow get them out. Please, you got to pull out 8 wins. I know the schedule kind of tough to the end, so you better do work in that first half of the schedule because, bro, we need at least for me 8 wins. Like, and that's not too crazy to ask. So, like, I do feel like we should be able to get 8 wins. Everybody stay healthy. Everybody stay healthy. People talking about, they ain't got, we don't got the talent like we used to and all this, but I'm looking at teams around the ACC. I'm like, bro, we may not have the talent like we usually done have, but our players look better than they players. Like, you can't tell me, like, I know people are talking about the stars don't matter and all that, which, I mean, with some players it don't, but a lot of times the best players have the highest stars. So you can't tell me a team with us with mostly 4 stars, maybe sprinkle in a 5 here or there, and then some 3 stars, ain't better than a team like Wake Forest with 2 stars, 2 and 3 stars. Like, come on, bro, come on. When it's like that, that's on. It ain't that their players are better. It's just they coached up better and they working as a team better. But as far as athlete versus athlete, random boys, there's so many teams that they're not better than us. Like, if you go athlete against athlete, there's not better. So I don't want to hear that crap about, oh man, the stars on mine. Them boys got, man, going on with that, bro. Going on with that. Can't nobody convince me that Wake Forest got better players than Florida State. Like, you can't. Wake Forest or even like Louisville. Like, bro, any of them. Hell, even NC State. Even though, a lot of people say NC State gonna be good this year because they, I guess they defense, they defense straight. Their quarterback gonna be decent. They got a different quarterback, but I think he still played last year but got hurt. But they got him. And then they got the linebacker. He's straight, But come on, bro. Like that's like three or four players. Come on. So we just gonna have to make um we got to like turn a lot of doubters to show them because they real deal like don't expect us. Even at the ACC kickoff, like you can just tell like they don't expect for us to really do nothing. Like they was naming all these other teams and all these other players when they named they top this and that, top that, top this, top that. It wasn't no Florida State player current, no transfer, nobody being named for nothing. Which I mean, I can't blame them if they're going off the past few years. So we definitely want to show up, and show out, as 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 my grandma in the church would say, show up and show out. Definitely got to do that and show them, because yeah, it's a lot of people down. A lot of people. And I said I want to get into the little thing with Texas and Oklahoma going to the SEC, but man, that's crazy, that bro. That's crazy. Like the Big 12, they might as well just go ahead and just, I mean, dissolve. To be honest, they might as well go in and dissolve. And for Florida State, I think for us, I think we in the ACC for a good little minute too, because of that little thing they signed. I believe. I think till 2036 or something like that. I ain't no lawyer, so I don't know how they can if it's something they can get out of. But at the same time, if it costs like a buyout, bro, hey, we struggling now with the Willie Taggart buyout, and that was only like 18 million. So I know the conference buyout probably gonna be higher than that. So it's like, bro, I really don't see us. I mean, if we do move, that'll be all straight. That's straight, but I don't know. I mean, if they can finesse something or somehow get a conference to put in on the buyout, whatever. I don't know. I mean, because the only thing we can focus on right now is us just playing ball. But yeah, man, I'm about to hop off this thing, man. Like I said, just stopped in Saturday. Like I said, y'all check us out. I'm on boy Pope page, Adrian page, at the 863 Seminole TV. Like I said, we'll be there 6 o'clock, going over our top 25 um players. Like I said, I got my list. He got his list. Um, Even though my list, he said 25, but I did a little over, but I discussed that with him. And y'all tune in to see, man. Other than that, man, I'm gonna holler at y'all boys later, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'll be back on this thing next week sometime. Now when the season starts, I'm on this thing probably a few times a week. But for right now, it's kind of slow. Ain't really much going on. But appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. I'll let y'all later, man.